Hi everyone! Episode 4, I think, of Museum from Home from the Museum of Timekeeping with me, Alex. Today I'm going to talk to you about a lady who lived in London in the 1800s called Elizabeth Belleville. Now, Elizabeth was born in 1854 and she was born into a family who made their living selling the time. The concept of somebody being able to make a living selling the time is completely alien to us and our modern society. However, it was a very necessary trade in the 19th century and for centuries before. This was because people didn't have access to standardised or digitalised time. There were no satellites delivering time to our phones and our devices, and instead people relied solely on the clocks or watches that they could see around them. Now, to get the most accurate time, you needed to know what Greenwich Mean Time was, and you needed that to have been set in Greenwich. That's because time then was still set by solar time. So if you were in Greenwich, then you were at the meridian, and therefore the time that you set your clocks and watches to by the sun at the Greenwich meridian point would always be accurate to Greenwich Mean Time. So in the morning, Elizabeth would take her trusty chronometer, and I'm going to lift this one up, it's a bit heavy. This is an early 19th century marine chronometer, much like the one Elizabeth would have used. Hers was made by Arnold and Son, whereas this one here is made by Smith and Son, but they were both very accurate, portable time recording devices. Once Elizabeth had been to Greenwich in the morning and set her chronometer to Greenwich Mean Time, as per the solar time of Greenwich, she would then go out and about around London, selling the time to passers-by from her chronometer. She made her living this way for her whole life, all the way through until 1940, which is when she died, well, 1943. Despite the fact that she was very outdated in her methods by this time, and really the service that she was offering had become obsolete, she was famous in her own lifetime, known as the Greenwich Time Lady, and she made a handsome living. I think by the end it was more of a tourism attraction, more of a novelty rather than a necessity, yet still people went to Elizabeth for their time right up until 1940.